Hello, farmers, and welcome to another episode of the harvest season. My name is Kevin,
And my name is Aislinn.
and we are here to talk about cottagecore games. Supposedly, that's what the box
Woo!
says. Woo! I forget about that. Well, I always try to be a bit of a smart aleck in adding nonsense there, but yes, woo. Although
Woo!
I'm,
It's cute. I
although
like it.
I don't know how much I like wooing at this game. I'm very hesitant about wooing.
That's true. It's true. You make a
I'm
good
kidding.
point.
I love.
Spoilers.
Hello, we're here to talk about Wanderstop, the tea shop game by the I forget the actual dev team name, the Stanley Parable people. Um,
Yeah,
so brace yourself because anyone who's familiar with Stanley Parable knows that means things. Um,
I agree.
but
I wholeheartedly agree.
okay, but before we get to those things, let's talk about other things. Aislinn, what's up? What's been going on? Tell me about
Um,
your sky high life.
I think you already know what's been going on. We've been very busy with work, and
Yeah.
when not working, I've been very busy trying to make as much progress as humanly possible in Wanderstop. And when I'm not doing that, then I'm doing the usual like dailies on my phone of like Pokemon Sleep, um,
Uh-huh.
TCG Pocket.
Okay.
I'm hard into Neko Atsume right now, just the original, and I want to try and get
Okay.
everything in Neko Atsume as much as
Wait,
possible.
what is that one? Do tell. The name escapes me.
It's a cat collecting game. It's a cat collecting mobile game, and it's literally just cat
Oh,
collection, and it's
yes.
so
Okay, I'm
cute.
familiar with this one.
It's
Yes, yes,
so
yes.
cute. And there's a new Neko Atsume that came out somewhat recently.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna play that until I finish the original. So that's what I've been doing. And then
Sure.
if I'm not doing any of those, then I'm doing a lot of wedding planning. So that's pretty much what I've been up
Ah,
to. Yeah.
has that been on the show? Wait, has that been discussed on the show at all? I don't
No,
know
it
if it.
has not been discussed on the show. So
Oh, okay. How far are we? What's our target date here?
our actually I have not announced to like
Oh,
everyone the target date. I've been
oh.
keeping that like more on a
Okay. Well, yeah,
personal
range.
note, but I
Sure.
can tell you June.
Okay. Okay. Well, sure. 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 Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're
That
almost there.
the month countdown is the important part, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
if
yeah,
it's
yeah.
next month, that's panic mode. um,
Literally.
like
We're
that's
not quite there
DEFCON
yet.
5 panic mode, right? Every month is another level higher in the
It's
DEFCON.
yeah, no,
Uh,
each month that progresses closer and closer, I'm like
yes,
more and more just panic, panic, panic.
that's correct. That's correct. Very impressive, dedicated of you to plan your wedding during the Go Fest this year or whatever the thing's called.
Well, that
The
wasn't that wasn't in the works. That wasn't supposed to happen, but it just happened to happen and I was like, well, we're gonna see what happens with that.
all right, but good stuff. Okay, so let's see here. Neko Atsume. Okay, just a side note on Neko Atsume. Have you I play a different kind of cat collecting game. Have you ever heard of the Battle Cats?
No, what is that? I'm looking that up right now.
Oh, I think I've talked about that on the show, but I'm gonna tag you an image on the Slack. I'm creating the live Slack thread as of me.
Wait, this
Um,
looks so cute.
what? Oh, you
I'm
Googled
looking at it
it?
right now. Yeah, of course I Googled it.
Okay, because I was gonna show. Oh, but did you see the freaky ones yet? Oh,
Oh, those are legs.
yes, those are legs. Did you see the buff one that still has four legs?
I have not seen that yet.
Anyways, so yes, they're kind of cute, but also terrifying. Like, and it's a very cheeky, like comical tone.
It's a good aesthetic. I like, oh, I
Yeah,
found the buff one. I found the buff one.
yeah, there you go. There's good old fish cat, and those are just the basics, right? Like this, it's a gotcha game.
Yeah.
So, and it's what I think 10 years old now, and they actually get a lot of crossovers. They cross over like Hatsune Miku every 6 years. Street
Ooh.
Fighter was one.
You got me with Miku.
Konosuba, I think. Lots of animes. I don't know.
You got me with
But it's
Miku. That's
yeah.
it. That's the end all for me. Miku or bust.
Yeah.
That's it.
And the best part about their crossovers, you get both ways. You get Hatsune Miku as a playable character, and then you get a cat that looks like Hatsune Miku.
Oh my God.
Here, I'll see if I can find it.
That is
I
wonderful.
play that one on and off. My brother is a big Battle Cats fan more than ISO. Um uh but Yeah, it's a great one. There, I posted a pic if you want to see it. There's your Hatsune Miku cat.
Oh my
Um,
God, it's so cute. It's
they
so
literally just used the
good.
standard cat and put the costume on it.
That's
It's hilarious.
wonderful.
Oh, one of my favorite ones. They did Evangelion.
Ooh, that's sick. That's really cool.
That was a good one. That was a good one. Anyways,
Well, I will
so
be checking out this
anything
game.
else? I'm sorry?
I will be checking out this game.
Oh, it's free. Be warned.
Oh, perfect. That's all I need. Free, free is for me. That's it.
There you go. Oh, sick. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on Battle Cats. It's pretty fun. Um, anything else you've been up to?
That's pretty much been it. I guess actually
Okay.
one little thing that I can kind of announce,
Yes.
and we're really, really hoping the best. So like you know how I kept
Yes.
saying for today, like, oh, I'm busy earlier in the day, and that's why we're recording at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yes. Yes, to be
Um,
fair, you're always busy, so that wasn't out of the
yeah,
ordinary.
but it's more fun news. So hopefully by the time this podcast comes out, we will have a new kitty or two in the household here. So that's what we
Oh,
were doing earlier today. So
oh,
I'm
hot
like,
off the
I
presses.
I've been holding that like I've been withholding that just for like a I wanted to get your genuine reaction, like first reaction
Oh,
to it. So
a podcast exclusive. You heard it first
Podcast
here.
exclusive.
Oh, that's so exciting. Okay, you said possibly multiple. Wow.
Yeah, we're just
Um,
waiting on I'm not saying too much just because there's a lot of
mhm,
logistics, which I can tell you about later.
sure.
There's a lot of logistics that we're currently figuring out, but it
Okay.
should hopefully work out
Yeah.
tomorrow? Question
As
mark?
Yeah, well, that's exciting. I can't wait to hear, and see them and so on. But
Yeah,
that's good. There should be logistics involved, unlike us, who a guy just
absolutely.
kind of said, "Hey, you want a free cat?" and handed us two kittens. And we're like,
But
"Okay."
they are loved, and that's all that
Oh,
matters.
they are very loved, yes. Um,
But otherwise, that's it.
yeah, that and let's be honest, cats are not the hardest to take care of.
No, not by any
The hard
means.
part is cat. Well, no such thing as cat proofing, but bracing for the oncoming storm.
Yeah,
But
we are definitely bracing here.
oh, that's exciting! Can't wait to hear more.
Yeah,
Congratulations! Very very
thank
excited about that.
you. What
Okay.
about for you? I
So
like
I
you're just
will.
Chicago, man.
Yeah. So I don't know if I mentioned it on this show, but I started a new job uh about a month and a half ago, start of February. Um and I hit the ground running. They sent me to a trade show to man a booth. And that was I was there all week this past week. My feet are dead.
I
I'm
can imagine.
ready to be chopped off. Not my first time in Chicago. I actually went to that same event 2 years ago, but as an attendee, not an exhibitor.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, my role is partially sales now, so I actually
Okay.
have to go up and pitch and talk to people and so on and so forth and try to get leads. So that was busy, exciting. It was good work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I learned a lot, trial by fire, absolutely, but good times. And there was other enjoy. Well, it was it was like 90% work, but there were some nice dinners. One night we hit a piano bar. That was quite fun.
Ooh, that's really
It
cool.
wasn't a super classy one. It was very more bar than piano, if that makes sense. But you had the guy up there playing the songs, and you could make requests, and there was enough space to dance, which I did. I am a dancing machine. Fun fact.
Fun.
Um, so yeah, so which after a full day of standing and exhibiting wasn't the best idea. I pre-bled my feet for the next day,
And it's
but
all in
still
good
worth it.
fun. It's all in good
Yeah.
fun.
Yep. Um. Yeah, that was fun. I tried the deep dish. That was good.
Ooh.
Weather was insane. It was snowing when I landed, and like the next day we hit 70 degrees, and then
Oh
2 days later it
my.
hailed.
Oh my.
So it was a roller coaster.
Oh
Oh,
my.
a life first. I had a hailstone land directly into my mouth.
What?
As I said, "Oh, is that hail?" And then dunk, just right in there.
Why do I feel like that's like such a you thing?
Yeah,
That feels like such
that's
a you thing.
correct. That is 100% correct.
I've never heard that before. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you had
Yep.
a great time in Chicago.
Oh, yeah, it was a lot of work, but it was a legendary time. We'll be back in 2 years. Next year, there's a different trade show, actually here, right here in Atlanta, home turf.
Oh,
So at least I don't
perfect.
have to do the major travel bit, but I'm sure it will be just as busy. But yes, good times were had. Success was had by kind of me, baby salesman on his training wheels. Did little
I'm
salesman.
sure you did great.
Aside from that, obviously not a lot of time for games. I snuck in a few of the regulars, Marvel Snap, Rivals, Unite here and there on different occasions, so on. I mean, that's all fine and all. Um, Wanderstop, like you said, trying to squeeze in as much time humanly possible, and not
Yep.
even just because I want to, for the show, because I just want to play more Wanderstop.
No, me
Uh,
too. I feel that, which we'll
yes.
definitely get into.
Yup. And also, for the Mario verse over there on the other show, Rainbow Road Radio, I play, I did the Sand Kingdom. That's the little Mexican, kingdom in Super Mario Odyssey. Good times.
Oh, sick.
Yes, good. It's all a replay. But super enjoyable. I'm Mexican. What can I say? I'm super biased. I did Mario Mexico. I have no complaints. I got him in a sombrero.
That game in
Um,
general was just fantastic. So
it is.
I'm
Yeah,
glad to
like,
hear that too, that that
what
section
can I
was like
say? What
enjoyable for you.
shocking! This revisit to Super Mario Odyssey. I've determined it's a good game. All right. Speaking of good games, I say that with an asterisk. Oh, you have no idea. Let's talk about some game news. Let's talk about some
Yeah.
announcements and such. All right, take us away, Ace, with our first one.
All right. So in game news, the first game that I am looking at is Pixelshire that's going to be releasing on the 8th of May. And from what I'm looking at on the Steam page, it says that it is an adventure farming sim 2D single player game from the developer Kappa Bits. And it really does seem like a adventure farming sim 2D single player game.
Yeah,
It also has notes about unique RPG sandbox, which mixes life sim elements with town building, exploration, and combat. Um, and you can trade, you can do all the things that are normally in most farming sim games.
that's correct.
But it
I
looks
w
really cute.
Okay, so yes, first of all, okay, as the name might would imply, it's 2D pixel art, and it is cute. It is a bit more chibi-esque or
Yeah,
8-bit than say Stardew Valley.
it's more
So you know,
round.
yeah, it's a different flavor. But there are some actually notable elements I think in here that are worth talking about. First of all, like you mentioned, a sandbox, as in I would say Animal Crossing New Leaf or Minecraft style.
Yeah,
Like you can terraform, move buildings.
yeah. I think that's
It
really, really
looks
cool.
it looks pretty much open to change whatever you want because it looked
Yeah.
like you were moving some important buildings.
Hmm.
So that is an interesting angle. I don't think we've ever seen that properly done. Um, so that is very cool. That is a good way to stand out. Good for you, Pixelshire. And one other more minor element that I think is very cool. Some of the villagers and whatnot, will follow you around to help you with tasks and such.
Oh, I didn't
Um,
realize that about this game
yeah,
too. That's
which
awesome.
yeah, and that's not very common. And very cool to see. So yeah, that's interesting. You've raised my eyebrow, Pixelshire. You're not lost in the sea of Stardew Lakes or whatever.
I agree.
Uh,
Yeah, I like the art style. I like the kind of, I guess you could say Animal Crossing aspect, but more
yeah.
so, more generally, the sandbox aspect of being able to, as
Yep.
it says, rescope the world through terraforming. I think that's really,
Yep.
really cool. And
Yeah.
honestly, any game that has animals that you can raise too, they are
Uh,
so cute in this game. I love
they
it. So, but
they
it looks
emphasize on
great.
that. Yep. Yeah.
Like
So
as someone has been in a stance of like being overwhelmed constantly by farming games, this is
welcome
a farming
welcome to the
game.
show, Aislinn.
I know. This is one farming game that actually does pique more interest
Yeah.
versus other farming games. So yeah, big props to them. Looks really,
Yep.
really cool.
I have not face palmed when watching the trailer, so good on you. That's a thumbs up. No, and you know what? I may jinx it, but I didn't see any romance in there. free,
I'm sure
free from
there's
the shepherd.
romance. There's no way there's
No.
not. There's no
Well,
way
either
there's
way.
not.
Oh, okay. Wait, hold on one second, Ace. Just one second.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. The Jaws theme played as my puppy entered the room.
Oh
Um,
no.
um, okay. All right, what's up next? Do tell.
All right, so the next game that I'm looking at here is Honeymancer, and it's coming soon to early access, apparently on March 27th. So yeah. Or actually that's what it seems to look like. March 27th, early access, coming soon. And also another pixel 2D looking situation, but this is more so the tags are indie, RPG, pixel graphics, tower defense 2D, and it looks like this is not really a farming game at all. And when I first looked at it with the just because of the art style alone, I was like, "Oh, it's another farming game." I'm like, "Oh, wait, no, it's not. Wait, that's really cool." And it's
Yeah.
got bees, and we love bees here. So,
Yeah. All right. So there's a few things going on here, right? First of all, the premise of Bear Wizard. That's pretty strong already, right? You're
hmm
setting a tone. Bear Witch, excuse me. Um, you have a wand. You're shooting things in combat. You're fighting off robots invading the forest with other cute neighbor animals.
which the robots
Um,
look so cute, by the way. I
they
just again
do.
the art style. I'm just like, gosh, I love this art style. It's so cute. I'm such a sucker for good art styles.
Yeah, it is a very strong art style, absolutely. Again, 2D pixel, but it's a very strong one. I like how even the
Yeah,
trees kind of look like beehives.
they
It's a very cute
do.
little
It's so
touch.
cute.
Yep. There looks like there's management of some kind. You're growing flowers for bees, making
Yeah.
potions. So, there's elements of cottagecore stuff, but
hmm
it's not your standard. You have Grandpa's farm or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is fun. Special shout outs to the as they describe it, the bee dog. There's a large bumblebee flying you around. It's more bee than dog. Um, the big question, which we'll have to wait, is where does it land on the Cody scale of acceptability?
I know.
Um,
We'll have to stay tuned to find out, right?
is it chibified? Is it cartoonified enough? But I mean, it's a pretty big bee, so I
It
think
is a
she's gonna be on.
very big bee.
It's bigger than you,
It
so I
really
think
is.
I think she's gonna be on board with this one. But there are other non-giant bees that you are helping raise, so that's fun. It's hard to tell how deep they're going into it. I don't expect it
Yeah.
to be full on bee sim, but it looks good enough. It goes into the honey.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No, it
uh,
looks really cute. It's hard to get much information based off of just the Steam page, but like it looks
yeah,
genuinely really cute. We'll see
yeah.
soon in early access. If this is
March
your type of
27th.
gameplay, I think it's worth checking out because it just the
Yeah.
colors alone are like really pretty too.
The colors are very well done. I like the expressions on the characters and the little portraits when they're speaking.
Yeah,
They
I
get
love that.
exaggerated and
Uh-huh.
cartoonish.
Yeah, they feel very anime.
That's yeah, yeah. It's fantastic. Right, because I think that's probably a big criticism of a lot of these cottage cores. Like the character portraits are somewhat muted a lot of
Mhm.
times. I would say. This one's going full anime eyes and everything.
Yeah, I like it. I really do like it.
It's great. I have one big criticism against it though.
Oh, okay.
And it's nothing the game itself done, but unfortunately, the title of Honey Mancer, actually, I think it's Honey Wizard, has already been claimed by Winnie the Pooh in the Lorcana card game. Have you? Okay, I posted it in the thread. If you'll take a look, Aislinn,
Let me see.
Lorcana, the Disney TCG, came out with a
Oh
card
my
called
gosh.
Winnie the Pooh Honey Wizard,
I've never seen Winnie
and
the Pooh look so magical.
it's pretty amazing. It's possibly the best card they've ever come out with, and so
Was was
they
that a
do a lot of
pun?
great things,
Was
Honeymancer, but you got a tall bar or tall bear, I guess, to overcome there.
was that a pun though? Is that possibly?
Do what?
You get it? The pun? Because you said possibly.
Yes, yes.
Possibly.
Okay, I yes. All right, there you go. All
We
right,
got it.
beautiful.
We got there. One way or another, we
We
got there.
got there. I like the shot of the raccoon screaming in the trailer. Just fish eyes in different directions with full vertical mouth. It's great.
Honestly, mood.
Um, yeah. All right. Speaking of moods, what do we actually? Do we have a mood? I don't remember what's next. What's next?
The game
Oh,
is the next game is Space Sprouts, a exploration puzzle physics simulation 2D game are the tags. And it does primarily look like it's a puzzle game, where you
Yeah.
bend the rule of physics, experiment with unusual gadgets, and toss everything around. And I think out of the three games that we discussed so far, I think this game feels mostly up my alley because I'm always
Mm-hmm.
down for a good puzzle game, and the fact that
Uh-huh.
there is like physics in this too really also intrigues me.
Yeah.
It looks like it also kind of infuriate me, but like I'm kind of, oh,
In a
perfect.
good way.
Cozy cosmic chaos feels like the perfect description for this game.
Yeah, that is a very specific alliterative title, and it works. Right. So space is the key thing right here, right? We're managing
Yeah.
a space station, and so you're going to have gravity physics and light bending and all sorts of nonsense. There's all I in the trailer you see the water floating around, and you have to
Yeah.
push it or whatever. So expect space shenanigans. That sounds kind of cute, like a very muted storybook looking design for these characters.
Yeah.
Um,
Again, I like the colors.
yep.
I'm all about the
Yeah,
colors of all of these games so far. All of these games look really, really nice.
yeah, it is a very nice looking game. Demo out now if you are curious, and full release date in just a little over a week on March 31st.
Almost there.
Yep. So good on you, Space Sprouts. Yeah, I'm sure some people hint hint on the show might like. I have no idea who, but I feel like somebody on the show will want to play it.
I
Oh,
mean, I like it. I'm interested in it.
well, okay, that's one down. Let's get another. Yeah.
I
we'll
might be
we'll see.
infuriated. I don't know, but I'm also like, it's a good type of
Well,
infuriating, and that's what this game looks like. So I'm
yeah,
into it.
and that's fine. We've had the bad infuriated on the show many times, possibly more than not.
It really be that way.
All right, next up. Ooh, this is a good one.
This
I
is
think
you
they'd
take the
announced it.
floor.
Yeah, I think they announced it during the Game Awards, or no, was that the Jungle DLC? I feel like this was announced at some point, but if not, we got a full, uh, a more proper breakdown of Dave the Diver DLC. Can't stop, won't stop. I mean, they're made by the Maple Story devs, so they have the money to actually never stop.
Just keep
Um,
going.
yeah, basically. And so it is the second crossover DLC, this time with the Like a Dragon series, aka previously known as the Yakuza series. You are teaming up with Ichiban and doing all sorts of shenanigans. Are you familiar with Like a Dragon at all, Aislinn?
I am like not, I've never played the games, but like I am
Mhm.
familiar. And I remember when I heard about this, because I heard about this like a while ago. I don't remember how long ago it was,
Mhm.
but I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, how did these two worlds collide? I need to
Well,
know how these two worlds collided. This is so cool.
it is, and at the same time, that feels appropriate for both franchises. How on earth did this happen? I have never played one myself, but I am also very familiar with the series. So introduced, we have included in all these features, we have a genuine 2D beat 'em up side scroller where you can play as Ichiban and is that Cobra? Yeah, I think he plays Cobra. Wow. Oh, Cobra's playable. I didn't catch that. That's so cool. Um, there is a karaoke minigame because if nothing else, if that was included, how could this be called Like a Dragon? Um, we have let's see what else here. We got several characters from the Like a Dragon series as staff members for your restaurant. That's fun. Um,
I like that there
Jung.
seems to be the karaoke minigame. I feel like
Yeah.
that feels very like Yakuza-esque.
Oh yeah, it is. Um, yeah. That launches April 10th, not terribly far away, about 2 weeks away. So there will probably be a return to David Diver sometime in the future. Because I'm playing this absolutely. Um,
It looks great. It really does look
that
great.
looks great. Um, so yeah, keep an eye out. And then the Jungle DLC is still being worked on and coming in the future. So this again, can't stop, won't stop. Dave keeps diving and doing everyone's work. Um, all right, let's see. Next up, another series that has not yet stopped as of now. We've got Story
True.
of Seasons, or I guess this one is like Harvest Moon proper because it's in Japanese as of now. Um,
Yeah.
a Harvest Moon G mode game, another one. It is a port of a phone game from, what was it, like 2008, I think, of the Harvest
Yes,
Moon
it
series.
says 2008 on the Steam page, and yeah, it's
Yep.
a port coming to Steam,
Yep. So
but
it's a early mobile farming game, and that's cool. You can see it, you can feel it, kind of GBA-esque graphics, which is fun and cute. Too bad it's all in Japanese, so this one I won't
that's
be playing probably.
because I've been telling myself for the past like couple of weeks, like I really should actively get back into learning Japanese because I was learning
Mm-hmm.
Japanese at one point when I was in like first grade, and then I fell off because I was a
Mm.
stubborn kid, long story short. But like,
Okay.
I don't know, maybe if I get back into actually learning properly, maybe I'll pick up this
Yeah.
game. It looks
Yeah,
cute, but
it
I don't
does.
know anything about it because I can't read it.
Yeah, we can't read a thing on it. It's all I can do is point and says that looks like a Harvest Moon game for a
It's like,
phone.
that's a cow, that's chicken.
Yeah,
That's all I've got.
there are anime pretty people that you can probably romance. Yeah. But yeah. Releasing on Steam. Do we have a date for that?
As
Coming
of now, we do
soon.
not have a date.
Yeah.
But
But yeah,
regardless, if you are interested in this and you can read Japanese, even if you can't read Japanese and you are interested in it, it is coming soon.
Oh man, go back to those early 2000s when you have the fan translation from GameFAQs. Mm, good times. Um, but yeah, one thing to note, this is a second port that they've done in the series,
Mhm.
which is interesting to me, suggesting that the first one was successful enough to warrant it.
I guess
That's pretty
so.
cool.
I'm glad. I'm glad for the
Yeah,
people that do care about this. I know
yeah.
nothing about it, but I am happy
I,
for those that care about it.
I know nothing either. I should pick up Japanese. I'm too big of a weeb not to. I mean, I know some Japanese words. I want to make the Mecca one, the journey one day, but
hmm
in due time, I guess. All right, let's see here. Next up, we've got info on Country. Yes, not Kent County. Country, bigger than that. We have got they say so. What interesting thing? The thing, probably the biggest note is, they're talking about some features and whatnot, but combat is totally optional. Um, which is kind of wild to see in these games, right? Because most cottagecore games following the Stardew template have some kind of combat stuck in there, right?
Yeah.
And it's just because it's optional, it's not bad. Here I'm looking, you got bows and arrows and guns and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's optional and they're advertising that's pretty fun. Um,
I think it's great. Yeah. I don't know why that would like it's a great thing, honestly. Like I have nothing else to say besides like this is something that is a great feature because if you want to do it, you can do it. If you don't want to, you just ignore it.
yep,
It's a win-win.
yep. This is another game where it looks like you can partner up with some of your neighbors or villagers and whatnot, so that's fun. There's I think we've talked about it before, but you look at the trailer, there's square dancing. They're playing a nice Western medley song.
It's
You're
definitely very howdy partner.
It's very how it's high noon. That's what it is. We got state coaches, we got trains, all the good stuff. So good at hey, howdy, hey, get your snake in your boot and keep an eye out for country.
I mean, there's even a
Again, I don't.
character named Bandit, so
Yeah, there you go,
take that
as
as you will.
required. All right, next up, a new game. We've got okay. So I started looking at this and pre-recording, going over, preparing, whatnot, and I stopped because I just kept saying, "What is this?" I needed to put some of that energy into the recording. We
It's
are
so
looking at a game
silly.
called Fungi's Swarm. So GUYS Swarm. Um, it is a bullet hell game. It is their first dev blog. And they are showing it's kind of what the whole thing, right? It is a cartoony survivor bullet hell where you become a fungi, wield forest crafted weapons, and unleash bonkers powers against the Fire King's enemies. So there's a lot going on here. There's a mushroom guy running around. There's pumpkin vegetable monsters and bears and like vegetables. a bear and an apple.
There's
Uh,
a there's an Easter egg for from Coral Island of a waterfowl. It is the
What? I
cutest
didn't
thing
see
I've
that.
ever seen.
That's incredible. That's incredible. You're running around as your little fungus guy with a giant watermelon axe. Like the watermelon slice is bigger than you are. It's enormous. There's a grape blaster gun thing. You've got the powers. Like, oh yeah, this is some good stuff. There's what is going on with this apple teeny? It's a half-eaten apple with a very buff worm popping out of it. Um, there's runs. It's colorful, it's wacky, it's cartoony, it's magnificent. I don't. What are these little forest sanctuary pals? You got like buzz balls with
I
fruit
have
stems. There's a
not a
lot.
single clue, but it looks cute and fun, like cozy and fun.
Yep.
It looks like it's a good balance of that, I feel like. I feel like it does
Yep.
somehow fit into the cottagecore game. It
Yep.
just it just somehow does fit. Like yes, it is like a bullet hell game, but like it feels like it's going to be
Yep.
accessible enough to fall into the category of cottagecore.
Oh yeah, for sure. It certainly caught my eye. Obviously, we're gonna be a ways off from this bad boy coming out, but I'm definitely keeping my eye out. That is again Fungi Swarm. They're good on you. Lot of good news stories this week.
Honestly,
Nothing
yeah.
giving me any heartache or anything. That's exciting stuff. Oh, all right. And with that, let's move on to something else exciting. Let's talk about
Yeah.
Wanderstop.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So again, this is the tea shop simulator created by the Stanley Parable dev team. Um, if you haven't played Stanley Parable, you might want to pause, go listen because I think we need to talk about it because that's important for context.
Mm-hmm.
And so important that Aislinn has actually played Stanley Parable prior to the game Wanderstop in preparation. So
I
let's hear
did.
some thoughts.
Yeah, so once I found out that this game was being created by the people that made Stanley Parable, I very much so was like, and I've always wanted to play Stanley Parable, but I moved that way up from my backlog
Uh huh.
because I knew and I've heard great things about this game, which I think everyone knows about. If you haven't played the game, you still know the premise of the game and what the
Yeah.
game is all about.
Yep.
And I
For
was
for
very curious to check it out.
Yeah, for clarity, I have not played it myself, but as you said, I am very familiar. I know all the secrets, so feel free to let out whatever you want.
Yeah, I
Just
played as
listener, assume
many
we're spoiling whatever. Okay, it's
spoiler warning for Stanley Parable.
yes, game that's been out how long now?
A
Everyone knows
very long
about.
time. But the thing is, like before I played Stanley Parable, I knew it was a strange game or a very interesting game that a lot of people liked, but I didn't know what the premise of the game was. So I went in pretty blind and it was an experience for sure. It took me a while to get into because I was like, what is happening? Um, but then as I continued, I was like, oh, okay, I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to understand. And
Mm-hmm.
it was a very, very fun and fascinating and silly game.
Yep.
And I did pretty much almost all of the endings except the ones like the what was it like the baby one with like the dog and like the you have to like stand that one ending where
Yeah,
you have to like be in the game for like 3 hours or
that's
something.
correct.
I refused to do that one. I just watched it on YouTube. I was like, there's no way I'm doing this. But
That's
just like that
correct.
absurdity and like that confusion, I'm just like, yeah, no, okay, I understand why people like this game now. Like I have not experienced this in a game in a very, very, very long time. And it just took twists and turns. And I was like, huh. And I was happy that I got to experience that before playing this game because I was curious if they were going to do things in this game that also kind of caught me off guard and
Right.
surprised me. And that
Yep.
definitely did happen. And I guess as a general notice, we're not going to spoil like main plots of the game. We may talk about a little bit of hint
Yeah.
towards a little couple things here and there, but we'll try our best to
Hmm.
not spoil the game because both of us are just about at the same point in the story, and we both kind of share the sentiment that we want y'all to check out the game and experience the not absurdity, but just like the twists and turns of the game
Yep.
that also surprised me. Like the way that I was playing Wanderstop as I continued
Uh-huh.
into it, like it took me a while to get into Stanley Parable. It took me a while to get into Wanderstop. And as I
Yeah.
continue, I was like I felt the same feeling that I felt when I was playing Wanderstop
So.
versus when I was playing Stanley Parable, but in just
Mhm.
different ways.
Right. Okay. So again, as someone who, that's all great, and I appreciate you played it because at least one of us can speak to it. But
Well, you know about it too, you
I
know.
do, right? And so, like, maybe I don't fully have heard everything, but the tone of Stanley Parable is almost, it's very absurdist, very almost adversarial in times, right? Like the narrator
Yes.
is constantly fighting against you, or you're being sent down roads that are unpleasant, or so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
Like it's an enjoyable experience and a lot of fun. Don't get me like clearly, but it is a very different vibe from a cottagecore game, right?
Yes.
So when
Very
you
much so.
right, and so when you hear they're doing this a tea shop simulator and they're outright saying it's going to be a cozy game, like what am I going to do? I'm on guard. Like you're the
I
Stanley Parable
know.
people. I don't believe a word you say. I
It
am.
literally says on the Steam page from the creator of the Stanley Parable. It's the
Yeah.
first
So
line.
yep. So I'm coming into Wanderstop armed with a knife, just ready to fight back whatever this game's gonna throw at me, right? Um, and well, I mean, shocker, it's not the Stanley Parable, right? Like some things carry over, like it's quality writing, excellent writing throughout,
Yeah.
absolutely. There are some twists and turns, but it's not in the insane zany Stanley Parable way. It's all in a narrative structure that fits it and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um, I can confirm this is actually a well, okay. I would call this a cozy game, but
Yes.
it's a cozy game that sometimes pulls out a knife on you
Yes.
because sometimes I'm
Yes.
not I'm not ready for. Oh, I'll get to that in a second. But the point being, it is right. There's no secret endings. There's no crazy, insane tasks. And I tried like one of the first things I did. Like when you start the game, you can run back into the forest. I ran into the forest like 10 times, expecting something, and nothing happened. I looked it up, and there is no insane hidden things like Stanley Parable.
Yeah.
Right there's some stuff, but nothing just completely insane. But so yeah, it's wild to see that they're actually playing it straight. We're getting a quote unquote cozy game. Um, so with that in mind, let's talk about the premise because I say cozy, but there's a big asterisk here because it is
Mm-hmm.
possibly one of the most uncozy openings to any game ever.
But
And
I loved it. I
yes,
genuinely loved it.
yep. So this is, and you're not an avatar. You're not a Stanley, a blank slate avatar, more or less. You are playing a character named Alta. She is a fighter, a warrior, goes into tournaments. The story starts with her description of her wanting to be the best. She's undefeated for like 3 years, something like that. And then she
Very,
loses a
very long
match.
time. But yeah.
Yep. Then she loses a match, right? So when you're that good, when you have that kind of drive, like losing something like that, it does damage to you, right? And
Hmm.
so it starts a slide for her. Like she starts losing other matches, and she's just totally off her game. So what does she do? She seeks out help. She seeks out Master Winters, a legendary warrior, who she thinks can help her get her groove back. So Alta runs through the forest, but then at some point her body starts to fail her. She collapses and she wakes up in this clearing in the forest in front of a tea shop called Wanderstop. She meets the proprietor, a man named Boro,
Oh, he's wonderful.
who
Love him.
he is the complete, I would say, foil, like opposite foil to
Yeah.
Alta. He is the most chill, zen, just goes with the flow kind of guy. He's happy, go lucky, always cracking jokes and whatnot.
So sweet.
He's a wonderful man. He is the one who rescued Alta. Explains where she is, and basically suggests for her to take a break because one of the first things she does is try to pick up her sword and she can't. Meanwhile, Boro can pick it up no problem, and it's just something going on with Alta. She can't fight. She can't lift her sword. If you run back into the forest like I did, you just collapse and are sent back to the clearing. So
I did too for context. I also did
yeah,
the same thing as you because I was like, I just need to know.
yeah, it
Especially
would be
again, coming off of Stanley Parable, I was like, I just need
it,
to know.
it would be the most Stanley Parable thing in the world, right? You run out and you get an ending. Like absolutely. So So yeah, so that so with after repeated attempts, if you do or you just give up, Boro suggests to Alta to just stay there in the tea shop to help out to try to rest and recover because she's clearly suffering from overexhaustion. And and already at this very 10-minute initial premise, the game is going at me like directly targeting me bullseye
Yeah,
because so, okay, Ace, you are a hard worker. Yeah, you probably relate to this. I think a lot of people from our generation, how we were
most
raised, like,
definitely.
we, a lot of people, we were raised in a very driven generation, right? Work hard,
Yeah,
succeed, go to the next thing, right? Be the top,
yeah,
be first in class, right?
yeah.
And I personally, like, my obviously not a warrior, but like I graduated salutatorian in high school. Like my academic pursuits were
Hmm.
like everything to me. So I can relate to that very much so.
Yeah,
And then there comes a point when life just punches you in the face and you're knocked down a few notches. So I get this. And I'm already very not comfortable with how personal this story has gotten.
yeah, yeah. I really felt the anger that Alta was feeling in the beginning. Not to the fullest extent because I'm
Yeah,
just generally not a very like angry person,
right.
but like the underlying emotions of that anger, I genuinely felt because I definitely also feel that in the sense that as a person that considers myself very hardworking as well,
Uh-huh.
to be working so hard and then to be knocked down like that, it really, really, really sucks. I get
Yep.
that. So I definitely really felt for her right off the bat. Like
Yeah.
immediately I was like, "Oh, this is one of those games. Oh
Yep.
no." My heart. I was like, "Oh no."
Yep. Yep. They have set the stage.
They really
And
did.
and again, in right there in contrast with Bora, a wonderful, truly cozy character, and then Alta, the most uncozy character I have possibly seen in a cottagecore game. Um, but like for me, the one of the bits that really resonated is just running through the forest, right? Getting back
Yeah.
up, going back. Like I relate to that very much. So to maybe not on well, okay, yeah, I'll say somewhat unhealthy levels, but or it's let's say it's affected me, right? Like I've
We all go
definitely
through it. We're human. We
right,
all go through it.
right, yeah. And so being forced to stop like that out of your control, that's something I wouldn't handle well.
Hmm.
I'm anxious at the thought of that.
Yeah, no,
Um,
100%. I 1000% agree.
yeah. So here we are already. A bit like I said, knife drawn. Just they've already come at me with a knife. So
This
and it's
game has
Stanley
become like a
Parable
therapy session.
a little bit. Um, and yeah, it's and so well, yeah, and you just kind of dive right in, starting to
Yeah.
help out making tea.
Hmm.
So let's just talk about the mechanics because it's fairly straightforward. There's I think there's three components. There's I would classify into three components. So there's the gardening, there's the tea making, and dealing with requests and other minor tasks.
Yeah.
So gardening, it's pretty straight. Well, no, it's interesting because it's a grid based system, but it's like a
Yeah.
hexagonal grid,
Hmm.
and you're not just planting and watering. I mean, you are, but you have to align the plants in a certain way.
Yeah.
You have to put them in a line to create a certain kind of plant that will generate seeds. You put them in like a triangle pattern to create a fruit bearing plant. It's an interesting spin because it's a lot more calculated than just hoeing land, planting a seed, and watering. It all
Yeah.
happens instantly. It's not a waiting game. It's very much just resource management. It's nothing intense or anything. Just it's just very structured, which is interesting to see. The
I liked it
Mhm.
personally. I liked it just because I liked following the field guide and
Uh-huh.
I laugh because I'm like, man, I really do just like following just like guides and like just someone tells me what to do and I'm like, just do it. I'm like, that's great. And it's like I love games like that. That's literally my job. And I'm like, that's just my personality. So I'm
Okay.
like,
Okay,
this is
Alta.
great.
Because yeah, that is one great thing. They're very good about providing instructions if you want it, right? Like
Yeah.
they don't put any pressure one way or the other if you want to experiment or just follow, by the book.
Yeah, they have
Um,
like layers of accessibility in a unique way, which I think is really cool.
yeah, absolutely.
Like they had that black book.
Yeah,
I forgot
yeah, I
the
was
name
gonna.
of it. The Book of
It's
Answers?
literally called the Book of Answers. They
Yeah.
provide you with a book of answers that would literally tell you the solutions to whatever quest or puzzle you're dealing with.
Fun facts. I accidentally threw that in tea once.
Oh, that's good. That's
I
great.
that wasn't that would be my one complaint about the mechanics of this game is it's a little bit too easy to accidentally do something.
Yeah, there is
Like the
no
button
undo.
sensitivity is like
Yeah, there is
little bit too
no.
sensitive.
And there's the controls are simple, but sometimes it's a little intuitive. Like your four
Hmm.
face buttons all do something different. It's like store, drop, or use basically,
Yeah.
and it's just very easy to push the wrong one,
Yeah.
right? Especially when you're like you say, you're mixing tea. Well, whoops, there goes your book. Hope you can stop the game right there
Yep.
because it auto saves.
I panicked. I was like,
um,
oh. And then I
exit,
realized
exit,
it
exit.
comes back. It comes back. Just know
Oh,
it
it
comes
does.
back. It does come
Oh,
back.
okay. Well, that's good.
I learned eventually it came back and I was like, well, I guess if I really need help, I'm Googling it. I don't know what else, but the book is gone. It
Okay.
comes back.
No, that's interesting, huh? Because I put in a different because all right, let's be clear. There's some point where you have to put a book in T. Very, very strange request, but you do. I put a different book. Um, that one I don't think I saw come back. Um, I might have to double check, huh? Um, but
I don't think that came back for me either, but specifically the Book of Answers came back and the game was
sure.
mad at me.
But that makes sense. That one would be the one to come back.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. With that, I guess yeah, let's talk about team making itself because it's a wild, wacky, cartoonish process. Like
It's
Wanderstop is
so
basically
fast.
it's a husked out tree, a giant tree, and the entire center structure is like a giant tea machine. You have to literally climb on a ladder, go all the way to the top. You pour water, then you use some bellows to heat it up. You kick it and it goes into the flavor station where you drop flavors, and then you kick that to the pour station. You have to get a cup, and it is very fast. It's just almost comical to see how many steps they put into it because
Mhm.
and very intentionally so. Like it's meant to be charming and absurd because that's kind of Boro's personality. That's the vibe of the shop.
Yeah.
Um, oh yeah, yeah. It's not terribly hard. It's just I guess at the first you might forget a step or two. I certainly did.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, but I think again, like you said, that's like kind of the charm of it.
yeah, yeah, certainly. You're never punished for it, right? Even if you give the
Hmm.
customer the wrong request or the tea, they'll let you just try again. It's not a problem
Oh,
at all.
really? I haven't done that because I always made sure to get it right each time. The
Well,
perfectionist in me, I was like, I have to get it right.
that's correct, Alta. um, but yeah, no, it's not a problem. And sometimes, and you know what? If you mess up, they'll even let you just turn it down. Like say, I don't know how to do this. I don't want to do it, and it's fine. They'll just stop the quest there.
Hmm.
Um, and so let's talk about that because being in this very clearly sort of magical clearing, you have all sorts of strange and wonderful characters squandering into the clearing. Off the bat, the
Yeah.
first one I believe you meet, his name is Gerald.
Oh my
He
God, my favorite.
he is in a night green knight's armor, but his the little brush they have on top is literally like a broom brush.
Yeah.
And he is just a guy who loves his son Timothy and wants to be cool for his son Timothy. So he's out to become a
So
knight,
cute.
not knowing what on earth it means to be a knight. At one point, he finds a stop sign and considers it very important, and
I
that's who.
cherish that so much. I cannot tell you how much I love Gerald. I cherish that stop sign every day.
It's pretty good. My favorite bit with Gerald was with the beginning where he'll show you, pull out the wallet and show you photos of his
Oh my
kid,
God.
and you can go through so many
I went
photos.
through all of them.
I've
All of
also went through
them.
all of them. They're all pretty.
Which photo did you pick?
Oh, I have to remember. I can't remember. I have to look up the photos. Which one did you pick?
I picked
Trying.
one of the ones in it was like I forget what it was exactly, but it was like the one directly after all of the bedroom ones where it's like he takes a selfie with his son at like 2 a.m. and then 3 a.m. and then like 3:15 and then 4. It was like the one
Oh,
like right after that. I'm pretty sure was the one that I picked.
I know it was one with the selfie of his son, And he was smiling, and his dad was just like, "I can't believe this face." I don't remember, but it's was it the fishing license? I think it's where he's picking up his fishing
Ooh, that
license.
was
It
a good
might
one.
be that one where he's getting his son a fishing license.
They're all so good. And I feel like honestly, I feel like Gerald is one of those characters that again, like to not to bring it back to Stanley Parable, but to bring it back to Stanley Parable, that like silliness about that game translates over to this game really well.
Yup.
That like sense of humor and like Gerald is like a good reflection of that. And I love, love, love it. Like love it.
It's pretty fantastic. Um, okay, you know what? We said no spoilers, but I feel like I want to talk about Gerald's spoilers because this is an important, I think, element that sets the tone for a lot of the future ones. Do you mind
Hmm.
if we talk about that?
Yeah, I
Like,
think that's okay. Because
okay,
there's so many other characters
yeah,
too.
yeah. This is like the very first quest line because characters will give you multiple requests. And I'm going to talk about Gerald because, yeah, I think it very much illustrates the tone this game is going for. We're again cozy with a knife, um,
Yep, yep.
because so you're introduced to Gerald, this wacky dad who loves his son and just wants to be cool guy and wants his son to love him. And while he's out venturing and finding stop signs or whatever, he returns with a glow on his leg. Uh, and he says, "Oh, that I guess that's a curse." And Alta's like, yeah, maybe you should do about that. And he's like, ah, it's fine, it's fine. And so
Just
you give
more
him,
more sit-ups.
yeah, yeah, more sit-ups. That was it. Yeah, just do more sit-ups.
Or something like that. More
Yep,
sit-ups or some sort of like physical activity. Yeah, the
yeah,
more
something
sit-ups,
like
it'll
that.
go away.
Yep,
I just have to be stronger.
yep. Which is pretty amazing to hear. But as you do more quests, and do his little arc, it's shocker. It does not go away. Um, it actually takes him over. On the last time you meet him, he kind of is no longer talking like Gerald and talking in like the was it the we person, whatever you call it. He's referring to himself as multiple beings, and in a very not Gerald tone or speech pattern.
Yeah.
Um and uh and so here we go again, Stanley Parable like, right, where you got charming, absurdity, funny, and then we get this thrown at us. Um
Hmm.
uh and,
Sad.
and I mean that's bad as it is, but the part that kills me is that okay, I'm jumping ahead a little to another mechanic. There's basically seasons in this game. At a certain point, all the characters will stop talking to you. Like you can't interact with them, you can't give them tea, you can't do anything with them, and you just have to sit at a shrine, and the season changes. And when the seasons change, it everything resets. Your whole farm is shifted. Like even the actual layout of the farm has changed. Like autumn is the second one, and all the previous characters gone. I have not seen Gerald since that, and I don't have any closure on that curse, which is brutal and very fitting
Yeah.
for the game, right? Like
Yeah.
the lack of control. Like you can't solve it, or at least as of right now, like I can't solve that problem.
Yep.
It's out there, and there was nothing I could do about it.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
I I am really, really hoping at the end of the game there can be closure on that, but I fear for the worst.
yeah, right? Like I would love that too, but knowing this game, I would not be surprised if nope, that's all you get.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to teach us a lesson, and that's how we're gonna learn our lesson. We're gonna learn. We're gonna learn.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, and so yeah, that whole Gerald quest line, like I think, like I said, sets the tone for a lot of these other quest lines. Not all of them are as dark. I think that was honestly probably one of the darkest. But it's the same idea where people come in requesting a tea, perhaps, or you forcing them to request tea because Alta demands it. And yeah, you make the tea. You grow your plants, figure it out, make your tea, give it to them. They'll come back later with more quests and so on and so forth. Right?
Yep.
And that's kind of the flow of the game, gardening and
Hmm.
filling out these requests. There's a
Yeah.
couple of other still just trying to cover mechanics here. There's a few other minor things. It's maintenance of the shop basically. You have to wash your teacups that you use in this
Hmm.
wild like train setup that goes through a waterfall. You just drop it in the
It's
train.
so cute.
It
But
is very
also,
cute.
I have a very quick side tangent with that.
Yeah.
It kind of annoys me, and it's not like it's not actually like a complaint about the game or a criticism of the game.
Uh-huh.
It's just it annoys me with Boro, where it's
Uh-huh.
like you literally run this tea shop. I make you a cup of tea, and you can't put it in the thing. Like, why can you not? But you literally run this tea shop. Why am I picking up after you? We're running this together.
Does Boro look like the man who would realize he had a dirty cup 2 seconds ago?
No, but please.
Boro will put it down without a thought in his head, and
I
10 minutes later say, "Oh, there's a dirty cup. I'll just wash it," without realizing that was his.
I wish to have a conversation with him. Please.
That's correct, Alta. Um, oh, one note about the tea making process. You can make a lot of tea, more than a cup's worth.
Yes.
Um, and you can do other stuff with the tea. You can give it to birds called the puffins. They are penguins with little crests outside. They can fly little.
They're so cute.
They are very cute. They
You
don't
could pet
serve any
them,
particular purpose other than sometimes taking items on the ground and annoying you.
but you could pet
Or
them.
oh, that's right. You're right.
Most
Forget. I take
importantly,
it back. You forget. You can pet them. You're
you
right.
could
That
pick them
is.
up and you can pet them, and they're really, really cute. And they look like just like funny little penguin guys, kind of, sort of. I don't know. They're
Yep.
really cute. They look
They
like
are.
grumpy penguins. Oh my God, I love them. They're great.
Penguins are amazing until you look inside their mouth. Um,
That's okay. Don't have to worry about that.
let's
Don't worry
not
about those
worry.
details.
But regardless of the status of the pluffin's mouth, you can also give them tea. And when you do, they will, because the teas are not again, these are all fictional crops. They're not Earl Grey or chamomile or whatever. The teas become very vibrant, colorful mixtures of all the ingredients you put in. And you can give the pluffins tea and they will change to whatever color the tea is, which is very fun and very cute.
I did not
Um,
know that until way later in the game.
oh, yeah, I think I might have discovered it by accident. I don't know, but or I just tried it. I don't know because I was curious. Because the Pluffins, like I said, they'll take items from the ground.
Yeah,
They're like, what happens when you do with a full cup of tea? And well, they drink it.
that's such a good call out because I did not realize it until way later in the game. And I
Oh,
was
that's
like,
a shame.
oh, and it's so cute. Again, it's so cute.
You can color. There's a bunch of them, and you can color them all differently. It's fantastic. Um, you can also drink the tea yourself. Alta, you have to sit down on a bench, and Alta will wax poetic on thoughts and minds. Each tea kind of has like its own flavor and calls certain thoughts to mind. It's all in the field guide. And oh boy, a lot of those thoughts are very heavy.
Yes,
You
yes.
go
Again, like a in-game therapy session.
very much so. You want to learn about why she hates her dad because her dad was laid off and she never let go of that anger. Woo,
Yeah,
woo.
a lot
Uh,
to unpack there.
she is not a particularly happy person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um,
Most definitely.
yeah. Again, fantastic writing. I think that's. I mean, you have the character request, but honestly, I think Alta's Alta's thoughts were my favorite part because it's just again it's all in her mind, so it's kind
Yeah,
of in a very eloquent, reflective sort of way, and they're usually very deep because she is not a superfluous person.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and also like the game is fully voice acted. So and they're great voice actors and whatnot, but this is where you hear the most dialogue for sure.
hmm
Because all or sorry, the game's not fully voice acted. It has
yeah. I
voice
was gonna
acting.
say,
Sorry, it
yeah,
has lines and bits. Alto's T thoughts are all fully voice acted.
yeah.
So shout out to one Miss Kimberly Woods, a voice actor I was not as familiar with prior to this. She's got some roles coming or going on, but she knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, definitely great voice acting in this game. The
Yep.
voice acting that is available.
Yep. So, that was great. Um You can going back to the tea, you can also give it to Boro, who will share his own thoughts and
And
stories.
won't clean it. By the way,
I won't clean it.
totally
Um,
not salty.
and again, a very total foil to Alta. His are usually hilarious, wacky. Sometimes they actually get a little serious and heavy,
They do.
but it talks about how he kind of just learns to let go of things. Like
Hmm.
gosh, well, a slight spoiler, later in the game you unlock coffee. And when he drinks the coffee, he's like, I learned I can't make coffee, so I give up and I'll let you make the coffee. And he's fine with it. He's very chill.
Yeah.
And then other times you get a story about his favorite game show, Guess How Many Eggs I'm Thinking of. Which is pretty incredible. Um, so yeah. Yeah, that's it's you know, it's a tea shop, so you'd expect to do a lot with the tea, and boy, can you do a lot with the tea.
You really can. I think it's
Um,
great. Like I said fast before because it's like for whatever reason, I don't know why Alta moves so fast across. Like, there's no way the physics of this game makes sense with the ladder. Like, you would fly off the ladder if this was real life. If that ladder moved that fast, you'd be off that ladder. But yeah, I find the tea making process to be like once I got into it and started to like learn the rhythm of the tea making process, I was like, this is like therapeutic. It's very nice. It's very soothing.
so yeah, so that's our thoughts on the tea. Like I said, there's a lot of other mechanics. Main, you know, there's weeds that will pop up. You chop them up with your shears. There's leaf piles that you sweep up, and when you do those, you can find little trinkets to either just decorate the shop, maybe extra coffee cup or teacups you can use.
Hmm.
Photos you can hang on the wall. Um, there's a lot of stuff that just for aesthetics or fun, right? Just decorating a little
Yeah.
tea shop for no real purpose. There's almost never any requests for it. Bora will sometimes ask you to do it, but those are never required requests. You just
Hmm.
go out of your way to do them if you want to.
They're cute. Honestly, it's cute. I like finding the little trinkets and the little teacups. They make me happy.
It's very great. I love it. Yeah, find it. It's always a fun surprise, especially the teacups, right? Because at first you got like what, like
Yeah.
two teacups, and you're like, I
Yeah, you
need
have like
more.
three white teacups, and then you start finding these like funky pattern teacups and everything. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this is fun. This is cool.
Yep, it's great. And we call them teacups, but they're more like coffee mugs. Let's be real.
Yeah, they're
um,
mugs. We'll just say they're
they're
mugs.
mugs. Um, but yeah, it's good stuff. I'm trying to think. Like I said, there's the pluffins. You can play around with them. Um, I think that roughly covers the mechanics, though. Um, can you think of anything else, Ace, that I might have
No, I
missed?
really don't. I feel like we covered everything
Yeah.
pretty thoroughly. So
Yeah.
we got all of the little tasks.
Yeah.
Do we have a favorite task that we like to do?
Oh, favorite task. Oh gosh. I think I just like drinking the tea, getting Alto stories. Like
Yeah, I
it's
enjoy that.
yeah.
I guess like for me, tasks that are not like main, like
Uh-huh.
because I guess you could kind of say this main story related
Yeah.
in a way because you're not progressing the story, but you're getting more depth into the story.
Yeah.
But I do also really like cutting weeds because of the fact that you also find trinkets and teacups and everything. There's
Yeah.
just something about the weed cutting, like the sound, because I've
It's
played this
cathartic.
game on like the TV. I've played this game with
Yeah.
the speakers on my Steam Deck.
Ooh.
I've
Ooh.
played this game with headphones on my Steam Deck,
Yeah.
which, by the way, this game runs great on a Steam Deck for those that are interested potentially with this game on a
Hey.
Steam Deck. It runs awesome. So that is another thing as well.
Okay. You know what? I do like the weeds a lot because we should be clear, it's not, little grass that you pull out. They're thorns, big thorny vines that you're cutting down with shears. So it's a very like woody snap sound effect to it. Um, and it is very satisfying. I agree.
I'm not an ASMR girly, but there's something about that sound.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's a
sometimes
very
look,
satisfying sound for some
it
reason.
is. So, sometimes sound effects are just very good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Another cute
Um,
thing that I just remember too in regards to
yeah.
the mechanics too is I like the detail of how when you're sweeping up the leaves, how you can
Mm-hmm.
sweep it quote unquote normally, but then you can also make Alta sweep it like very aggressively.
Yeah,
And
when
I think that just lends to her character very well.
she starts swinging it like a sword in
Yeah.
essence. And I don't have any proof on this. It's totally my own experience. It seems if you just sweep it slow paced, you have a higher chance of finding stuff.
Ooh. Ooh.
which would be very fitting, right?
Yes, it would be.
It would like mechanically make sense and thematically it's a good fit. So I just again I can't confirm that, but it sure felt like it to me.
I
So props if
wonder.
that's true. You know what? I just thought of something else that we almost missed. Two minor things. First, the lost parcels. You can find parcels around.
Yes,
You
me
drop
too. I
them
almost forgot.
in a mailbox. Later on, you'll get a letter back with some kind of reward. They're usually entertaining. Sometimes you'll get a photo for the wall or just so on and so forth. It's just a very small, minor, amusing diversion. But sometimes you can get a book because, as we mentioned, there are books in the game. Not the field
Yeah.
guide, the book of answers. There are other books. There's an economics book. There's and other things you can read through them. And we got perhaps one of the greatest characters ever created in any fiction, Dirk Warhard.
I feel like we should not say anything about else about him. Like
Oh,
I want people to experience what
the
that
magic
book,
of
that the
Dirk
magic of that book.
Warhard.
Just know it is amazing. It
Did you
is.
read the sequel? The sequel is my
I
favorite.
think I believe so. I believe so. If all the books that have been available so far, I've read all of them front to back
Okay.
for sure. So most likely, and I think also my
Oh,
favorite, yeah, is like the most recent one.
yeah. Dirk Warhard is pretty.
It's
Yeah.
good. I know. I want to talk about it so badly, but I'm like, we
I was prepared
really?
to read an excerpt because
No, no,
that's
no,
a.
no, no, no. We gotta let people experience it. This is
Oh,
your sign. You need to check out this game and you need to read those books.
Dirk Warhard. Oh,
It's so good.
he's
It's
one of the
worth it.
best characters, and you don't see him.
It's worth it.
That
It's
goes for
worth
any
it.
game. Oh, I
If
love.
anyone really wants to know, we can get you an excerpt of the
Oh,
book. So like
post
message
credit scene.
us.
Post credit scene. I'll read it. I'll read one at the end. Post credit scene for people who don't want to spoil. Okay. Um. Okay. All right. So with all those mechanics out of the way, it's very dense with the mechanics, right? Like
Hmm.
it feels slow paced, but there's so much you can do,
Yeah.
and for the most part, there's no timeline. But I say
Yeah.
that, but I don't know about you, but the second season change, I didn't get to finish some of the requests.
I think me too. There was some, I forget what it was exactly, but there was one point in the game where I was like, man, I didn't get to do this thing. And I was
Yeah,
kind of bummed about it.
you remember the Batgirl, the who has never
Yes.
tried tea? I didn't get to finish her storyline. There was a second request for tea. I didn't get to do it. They just at one point they just cut me off. I don't know if
Oh,
it's triggered by a certain quest or a
huh.
time thing, but
Yeah.
I couldn't finish her quest,
Interesting.
and again going back to that theme of sometimes you don't have control,
Mm-hmm.
so suck it. Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of which, well. Let's get into it, right? Because now let's talk about the highlight, the stories and themes. Again, we're not going to go into plot specific elements. It's actually not terribly. I mean, it's a very straightforward plot. Well, for the most part, I will
Yeah.
say, right?
It's a pretty like in a way run-of-the-mill plot, but
Yeah,
it's a good storyline
it is a very good story
nonetheless.
because it's not even a plot, as in like a there's some big event or story or quest. It's just Alta's character story of
Yeah.
trying to recover, right? And so she discovers things about herself. Like I think we've just how we've discussed a lot of the mechanics and things to run. Like the themes are very clear in this game, right? Like
Yeah.
we again, I don't know if this is it feels like a very generational thing for you and me, like our generation, and like of and future generations. Like I work with kids, I see them, everyone working, trying to stay on top of the rat race, trying to
Yeah.
get ahead, get your degree, get your career, and so on
Yeah.
and so forth. Right?
Hmm.
Like
Trying to be successful one way
yep,
or another.
yep, right, and it can be a very specific thing, right? Alta's
Hmm.
is fighting, right? It doesn't have to be like general career thing. It can be your drive to succeed in one sport or hobby or what have you, right? Like
Right.
some people are very, very driven. And yeah, and this game serves as a sort of counter argument to that,
Hmm.
of
Yeah,
learning how
I
to
feel
slow
like
down.
yeah, I feel like just like society as a whole has become very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, like this game encourages you to, as in the name, stop, take a break, and let your mind wander. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that's a very main theme of the story thus
Hmm.
far. Again, didn't finish the game yet, but
Yeah.
that just feels to be the theme for Alta, but also as a reminder for yourself to
Yeah.
sometimes stop, take a break, and it's really important and good for yourself to
Hmm.
be introspective and reflect on things that have happened in your life and
Hmm.
what you could have, or not necessarily what you could have done differently, but what you can do moving forward for yourself to be better as a person overall. And I think that seems to be like one of the main themes of the game. And I think that's why I like this game so much because it's something that I try to work on a
Yeah.
regular basis is to be more introspective because I find it
Yeah.
hard to do that. Like I would love to be a journaling person, but I find it hard to make the time to sit down and be introspective for
Hmm.
a period of time on a daily basis and sit down and write it. Um, but it is very important to grow as a person to be introspective, and I think this game is touching upon that, which I think is really special.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. One thing about the game is that how positive or empowering it is, I should say. Like,
Yeah,
it does not, it is not judging Alta for her, way of being and her life or whatnot. It doesn't
yeah.
judge, the game doesn't punch you for mistakes or anything like that.
Hmm.
Much like Boro, it's just whatever happens, happens, and it's
Yeah.
fine, right? And perhaps most interestingly, small, it's not even story spoiler, but Alta encounters basically an inner voice of herself. It appears in cutscenes as like an orange Alta, and that is her drive or what have you. It is a very positive, encouraging voice, like telling her, "Oh, you can get up, you can do it. You're
Keep
this is who you
fighting.
are. You're unstoppable, right?" And like it's all positive. There's no negative, but at the same time, in the context of this story, it feels like the most dangerous force on earth. I am
Yeah.
terrified of Orange Alta.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's wild how it's coming, delivering all these themes without actually judging or again, no real negativity or criticism. Just it's brilliant, really, how well it's written. Yeah. Like, and again, very personal to me. Like, I'm not gonna go into my life story, but I've had to work very hard for many,
Hmm.
many years now, and there's still no quite end in sight.
Yeah.
But like, it's good to have that little wake up slap, a little reminder to
Hmm.
breathe a minute. Like you said, you got your journaling. I don't know quite what I found for my equivalent,
Oh
but
no, I'm not journaling. That's the thing. I should be journaling. I am
oh,
not
okay.
journaling.
Oh, okay, okay. Amazon.
So I am still
I
searching for
I
that
used to journal.
opportunity.
I used to journal. Kind of just fell off, but it was
It's difficult. It's
it's
very
the
difficult. It's hard to be introspective, period.
for me. It's not. It wasn't like the act of getting introspective is not terribly hard, but I don't like the inner voices that are coming out. So
Well,
I
that's
was.
that's introspective,
I guess so.
introspection.
I guess so. So fighting with myself, hearing things I didn't like.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's not
It's
great,
not
but
easy.
and well, these teas you're making, many of them literally in the like field guides say they are going to call forth a memory of your childhood, your favorite ice cream flavor, all sorts of
Hmm.
things. So you are forced to engage with those inner voices.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's incredible, really.
Yeah, I was not I knew I was gonna like the game just as someone that was a barista or still is a barista. I was like, ooh, tea game? Into it. Um and I knew I was going to like it, but I did not realize I was going to like it as much as I do so far.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
a wonderful, wonderful game.
It is an incredible game. One possibly one of the best I have played as part of Harvest Season Gaming, right? Like up there with
Ooh.
Spiritfarer, I would say.
That's still, I bought it like last year. I still need to play that game too.
Oh, well, that I mean that's a great game too. It goes for a different kind of punch.
Hmm.
But yeah, like I don't have any real complaints with Wanderstop. Everything is like it's again Stanley Parable. They're clearly experienced devs. Everything is well
Uh-huh.
executed. Nothing feels out of the place or drags along or
Yeah.
whatever. At times it will anti-drag along. It'll cut things
Hmm.
short for you.
And you just
Um,
panic.
and it is all done in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
Which how that's a really hard thing to do for games to do things everything just so in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
So, hats off to you, Stanley Parable team. Like they wanted to go, I guess, kind of an inversion of the Stanley Parable, and they
They still kept
succeeded.
the essence.
They
They
did.
still kept me like pulled in the entire time.
Absolutely.
It was that slow burn and then it just picked up and then I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I can't like I just keep playing this game
Uh-huh.
more and more and more and I don't want to put it down because I'm
Yep.
just so pulled into what is happening with this game." And they did an awesome job with it.
They did indeed. Um, so yeah, that's I think mostly all the I can't give enough praise. That's all I've got to say. Do you have any other closing thoughts?
No, I think I got most of it out of my system. Yeah, I love this game. It's great. Can't say that enough.
Okay. So, yeah, I guess with that, I guess we can kind of call it an episode. Good job. Let's get right into it. Ace, where do people find you on the internet?
Y'all can
Not real
find
life.
me.
Please don't find her. Real.
I mean, if you want to find me in real life, you can find me maybe somewhere in New York City. Good luck. But
I to be fair, I
find me in
have.
the skies
Wait,
somewhere.
wait.
Good
I'm
luck.
thinking, Ace. I think you may be the only Harvest Season host I've actually met in person.
Ooh, look at
I
that.
think, yeah, I'm thinking about it. I don't think I met.
Aw, cute.
I guess I met Kelly, but like, no, I didn't meet Kelly, right? But yeah, no, yeah, um, yeah, no,
Cute.
but I've met you more times. I'll say that for sure,
We have met IRL in multiple occasions.
in multiple cities. Um,
Yeah. Look at us globetrotters over here.
yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
y'all can find me. I'll start off with the note of I also do a podcast. We're not as active as of recently just because it has been so busy, but I do a podcast with my fiance, partner, however you want to go about it. Um, Moo and Koo. So feel free to check that out. Otherwise, you can find me specifically A's Trainer, AIS Trainer, like Ace Trainer, but A's Trainer, however you want to go about it too. On Twitch, Blue Sky, Instagram, all of those places. And where can they find you?
Uh, you can find me at Koopa Prez on Blue Sky. Find me at the Artist Square on Blue Sky. I haven't posted. I've been busy, but I do make art.
I get it.
Um,
I get it. I relate.
yeah, find me at Rainbow Road Radio podcast I do with our mutual friend Alex on all things Mario. Oh man, we're gonna be recording another episode soon. Our schedule is more monthly-ish now,
Mhm.
just due to life. Um,
Mood. Once again, mood.
yeah, but oh man, we record. I said this before, but we recorded an episode, and I was supposed to edit it as my first time editing it, but I didn't have time, and then my computer died, so I know I have to fix it before I get the try to fix that episode.
Oh
Maybe
my
as of
goodness.
right now, it is the first ever lost episode of Rainbow Road Radio. Literally. But yeah, so find us there in those places. Wait, did you plug your next streaming schedule? People should know that when you're going to be on the Twitch streaming.
Oh, I don't have my stream schedule done for this week, but hopefully will be streaming after this episode comes out later on this week.
Well, there you go.
Tune in hopefully for cat times.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be so exciting.
Hopefully.
Oh, yeah, that's exciting. I can't wait to hear about that. Okay. So with that, you can also find more the show at THS Pod on Tumblr and Blue Sky. Find Al, our gracious host and creator of the show, at the Scottbot on Mastodon.Scott and Blue Sky. Go to harveyseason.club for all your links to this episode, feedback. You can provide feedback there. And ask questions, we'll answer them. Or you can head to patreon.com/thspod where you can find access to our Slack, which is kind of hopping. We're getting some new faces in there. Very exciting
Yeah.
stuff.
And it's just so cozy. It's so chill. It's so cozy, so low stakes. I love it. It's
It's
wonderful.
it's great. It's host banter, me screaming at things primarily. Um, You can also find if you go to Patreon, you can also get access to the Greenhouse, our non-cottagecore focused episodes on all sorts of things. We've got ideas. We just have to record. There's a lot more. They're all kind of about whatever. So,
Lots of
you
fun
can go
bonus content.
back and listen pretty easily. But yes, okay. Well, thank you, Al, for having us on. Thank you, Aislinn,
Thank you,
for
thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank you for joining me, and thank you, Al, as well, for having me. I had a great time, and it was nice to just chat.
Yeah. It was wonderful. Wanderstop, man.
Great game.
Sorry,
Great game.
one final tangent. I was trying to find excerpt from Dirk Warhard, and I found an article from the New York Times talking about the the game designers who felt burnt out by creating hit after hit because they
Yeah.
made Stanley Parable and a beginner's guide, and so they
Hmm.
wanted to make a cozy game. So,
Aw.
well, I get you know what? I guess they knew what they were talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. It's
um,
it's a self-reflection game as well for them, it seems like.
yeah, absolutely. So good, good stuff. And but yeah, until next time, dear listeners, have a good
Good
harvest.
harvest. Sorry, I'm terrible at that.
Woo! That's
Woo!
fine. That's fine. At times I miss
The
that.
Harvest Season is created by Al McKinley, with support from our patrons, including our pro farmers, Kevin, Stuart, and Elisa. Our art is done by Micah the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes and links to things we discussed in this episode.
This is from an excerpt from Edge of a Bullet, a Dirk Warhard novel. It was just another typical day for Dirk Warhard. Dirk Warhard had been undercover for 13 weeks. In that time, he hadn't showered, shaved, or eaten a single time. This was the Dirk Warhard undercover method. The Dirk Warhard undercover method was a living hell for the initial 4 weeks, but on week 5, without fail, his body would begin to buzz with a feverish euphoria and a rigorous alertness that gave him the edge he needed. Because of the adrenaline it produced, he also hadn't slept in a month. His skull vibrated with a cocktail blend of indiscriminate rage and an unquenchable passion for justice. Time to get to work. Dirk Warhard's undercover persona was that of Bobby Briggleston, billionaire playboy heir to the Briggleston family media empire. In fact, Dirk Warhard himself was a billionaire playboy, much wealthier than his undercover persona. But he'd play any role if it meant getting the job done. And I will leave it at that. That was nothing. The sequel was way
Yeah,
better.
that really was nothing in comparison.
I love
Woo!
it. Woo! All right, now I'm stopping recording.
Okay.
Wait, does we just exit? Does it stop
I think
recording?
we just exit. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know anything beyond that.
All right, best of luck, Al. This is all on you. Bye.
Bye. How do I leave? Why is my thing tiny? Exit. Oh, there we go. All right, see you later, Al, if this is still recording. I didn't figure out how to leave Zoom. Bye.